There's nothing easier than calling Rush B. This is a great way to make it a very effective take with only needing one player with utility. I've partnered up with Logitech G for the release of their new G513 keyboard. And before we get into all the great features this thing involves, just as a keyboard by itself, they use the Roma G switches made by Logitech, which are great. I got sent out the tactile version, which give a nice responsive feel, which I really like. But if you're not into that, they also have their linear version. Doesn't matter which version you pick though, very quick actuation times on both of them. The processing for the keyboard is way less than 1 tick in a 128 tick CSGO server, which some of the competitors like the Black Widow Chroma V2 actually don't pull off. The memory foam palm rest was something I actually didn't think I'd use until I got it out the box and put it down, and this was so incredibly comfortable and I loved using it straight away. So not only is this thing very comfortable and fast and responsive to use, you can also look very good while using it. They have RGB lighting built in with light sync, so you can sync it up to the audio, so even play music, your keyboard will almost dance to the music, it looks great. Or if you want to play a game like CSGO, you can change your layout for if you're the T side, the CT side, you can make it so it ticks or like it flashes as the bomb's going, it'll show your health across the function keys, and there's so many different things. You just download the Logitech gaming software and you can implement all this into your keyboard. So if you want to look good and game at the highest level, I definitely recommend this keyboard. Hey guys, what is going on? Some more flashes from Fallen here now, this time Overpass. This might actually be the best video in this series. Some of these flashes are very simple, very effective whether you're playing in a full team or random matchmaking. So you already saw these three flashes, or 2 flashes and a Molotov, sorry, at the beginning of this one, before the little sponsorship by Logitech, shout out to them for that. And you're going to see straight away, this flash comes in. And what this does, you can see it's very effective. It flashes off anyone at barrels, anyone getting aggressive towards the start of a round. Basically anyone who pushes around pillar, trying to get information towards monster. And the reason this flash is so good is one, it's going to get them, very good flash. It's going to just pop behind this fence, so it's a pop flash, hard to avoid. And secondly, because it is up a little bit and because monster's so small, you can see bolts isn't affected by it if you throw it relatively fast in the round like Fallen does here. So that's great, going to get anyone pushed to barrels. This is followed up, so this isn't a flash, but it's a great little thing just to cover anyway. Followed up by this Molotov, which is again for barrels. So you can see as the player is forced to look away, Automatic's forced to look down and he's flashed. Bolts is able to get it quite a way out. And you can see all 3 SK members here who are rushing are all out straight away. And they're about to be forced off. So what this Molotov does is, I'm sure you've all worked out, it's going to force players this way into the water area, or it's going to force them back and trying to play pillar or fight their way across here. So one, it makes it so that they have no cover for his teammates coming in. And two, it moves them for where this second flash is going to be most useful. So Fallen just threw the next flash, you saw it earlier at the beginning, that's just too fast for cover, and you can see it's going to get rush and anyone rotating off the barrel. So this one pops behind the pillar. And the reason he doesn't throw another flash exactly the same is, well, one, because Taka would have been team flashed by it because he's too laid out, and two, because this one pops nicely behind the pillar. Fur maybe could have caught off guard, but he doesn't. And yes, it's a good way using the pillar to avoid flashing your teammates, and it's also good because the CTs are rotating out this way, rotating in with Skadoodle. They're going to get hit by this, and there's no chance of the pillar, again, blocking the view from the other way. So it's a great use of the pillar for this second flash, and you can see it ends up being a very good take. He actually gets both kills with this Molotov because Taco headshots them all. But yeah, very good round overall. They get into a 5v2 with the plant down. Very simple, and you can see in this clip here, it's even very useful in gun rounds. Doesn't matter what utility you have, but I'd say pistol rounds is the #1 place you can use it because you don't have a lot of money to buy a whole lot of utility. You just need one player with this combination, and it's very simple as well. Whether you're playing in a team, like SK is here obviously, they find it very effective, or even your matchmaking, you just tell your teammates, rush B, and then you follow it up with this Molotov flash combination, and it's probably one of the best executes you could do within a PUG MM environment. Now, short control at B is often something highly contested by the CTs. So getting control of this is very important. They'll often throw a Molotov deep into the tunnel area, or you can throw your own Molotov. If you don't know either of those Molotovs, I'll chuck a thing at the top right now, and you can learn them pretty quickly. But Fallen follows this up with a flash. Rather than getting SK members in bolts and cold to flash themselves in, he throws this flash here, and it just is really just far more superior than throwing a self flash. You're normally caught in this tunnel down here where you can't really get a proper flash if you try and bounce it where it goes too long, or underarm it where it's easier to avoid. So if you get your teammate to throw a flash like this, or you do it for your teammates, you're much more likely to get anyone come through. You see in this round here, there's no one really contesting it, but it allows them to come through the smokes thrown by the CTs with relative confidence. So the next flash Fallen often uses on T side is this one right here. And I know I was going to say I was going to keep it simple, and you're probably thinking, okay, you said it was going to be relatively simple, some nice flashes, but that one, I mean, who hasn't thrown that flash? What I want to talk about now is the combination of it with this smoke right here. So obviously you've probably worked this out already. This smoke pops here, which blocks off this entrance, and then this flash pops well to cover off this angle between the stairs and here right now. This allows Fur to get very aggressive, especially with the players working connector, and basically this is a very simple way of using one smoke and one flash to take this top party area. I just wanted to point out what Fur does in this clip. Something I found interesting is he's Very comfortable dry peeking this. I think this is mainly because a lot of these angles that would be watching towards stair like that are quite exposed to this party area if someone did peek out to the side. So he's confident dry peeking. Obviously that's also first play style, and they're against pistols in this one. So you got a little bit more leeway, but there are other lineups for this smoke if you want to learn them. I haven't made any videos on them, but I'm sure you can find them yourself in some overpass smoke video. And then this flash comes in when fallen, and this gives further confidence to peek. He comes around here, and because first fur, there's also a lot of openings here. Normally there's not so many players here. He just tries to walk through this bathroom area. He's not getting caught in the back. But because there are these two laneways here, and normally only have like one player here, possibly more, there's often an opening here for the T-sides to walk through. If you want to try and make a sneaky play, you often can. It's a risky play, but one that can definitely open up a round, which is what Fur was trying to do there. Just didn't work out for him, and that's the risk you take. Again, moving on to the CT side, you're going to see some very purposeful flashes from Fallen, not Taco. And Fallen's going to actually be flashing Taco across the monster area. It's a very simple flash. You can see he's just going to push himself into the railing and aim at the top of the wall pretty much. So you're going to see the lineup right now. What this does is it allows Taco to cross without being seen, and also allows him to check monster. So you can see that lands out like this. And basically it clears out this whole monster area. As you can see in this clip here, this is how Fallen normally holds it. Very common to have an AWPer there watching the cross. And basically this allows Taco to peek. He gets some information if anyone's there. He sees no one, so they can be relatively sure for the moment there's not going to be some kind of B push. Taco does smoke it quite early anyway, but say you didn't want to smoke it and you want to try and sneak someone across the left side, this is another flash you could use to do so. If you are quite a long way away from a site, you can throw a few flashes on the rotation, which can potentially delay a flash or delay the push of another team. You can see this one here, Fallen throws hype in the sky. So if anyone's coming along this outside area, you can potentially blind them. It's just going to delay 1 or 2 extra seconds for your team to rotate in. In this scenario, NIP aren't actually that far out. They got res, exists, sorry, pushed up a little bit. And you can see nothing to be cautious about is not team flashing anyone. And honestly, this flash can give the indication that there's still a player on site. As you can see on the map now, there's actually no one here. Taco's only rotating in, Cold and Fallen, and this push actually has stopped. This one flash, I don't know if just NIP had already decided they're happy with the man advantage. This is potentially a factor as it makes it look like there is a player there throwing some flashes over towards A. They are quite difficult to spot as they come over that hedge there in between the two sites. You can of course also do the same thing in reverse. So if you're rotating off towards B, you can throw this flash out the back here. So that's very good for getting anyone who's maybe late coming at monster. It's good as well. Obviously, you have to be aware that if any of your teammates are playing this position here, but Bolts is obviously not looking that direction he's worried about here. So there's some communication involved. You don't want to team flash your players. You see Get Right gets hit a little bit. They are a little bit too far into the site in this situation. This can also be thrown the other way off the bridge. So practice yourself in an empty server and try and work out where they pop. And then also make sure to communicate so you don't team flash anyone. Lastly, in this round, I just want to show Fallen in more of a reactive setup. Obviously, most of the flashes I've seen or shown you in this series so far have been more setup flashes, good way to getting yourself set up on the T side, take some map control, or vice versa on the CT side as you're rotating or whatever. But in this one, I want to talk about how when you're in the heaven position, very common if you're an AWPer, you get this first kill, you want to reposition straight away, and this is a great reactive flash. I mean, you're in no man's land at the back of that water area, so you may as well throw a flash, and if you get that one kill out monster, it's very likely there's another player there. You can see in that situation, Get Right's fallen away, and great counter utility. They get first pick, get their man advantage back, and yeah, just puts you in a good position. You definitely want to be repositioning at that heaven area because they will just smoke you out eventually or something. That's it, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for all the support recently. It's been amazing, and I'll catch you all in the next video.